So ayan, good day everyone. So from now on, we discuss about the RA 9208 or the trafficking law. Just wait for a minute because I want to discuss it. So right now, what is human trafficking? So yan, human trafficking is the recruitment, hiring, transport, transfer, harboring, receive, offering, or providing of a person using deception, abuse of vulnerability, violence, or payment for the purpose of the exploitation. So there is a lot of meaning ang human trafficking. No, pwede yung recruitment. You are ni-recruit ka na ibang tao or hinire ka. O tapos pinakakuan ka na ito yung trabaho mo sa ibang bansa. Ito, ganyan. Kung pinakakuan ka ng magandang trabaho. But at the end, hindi pala yun. On the transfer, harboring, and receive, or then offering or providing of a person, and then using deception, abuse of vulnerability, violence, or payment for purpose of exploitation. So, ano yung mga elements ng trafficking in person? So, yan. So, first is what the human of traffickers do. So, ano yung ginagawa una ng yung mga human traffickers? Una is yung ginagawa nila is nagre-recruit, nagano sila nagre-recruit, nag-hire, obtain, harbor, receive, maintain, transport, transfer, offer, and provide. So, dito sa provide, minsan nagbibigay sila ng pera. Ito, unahin kita ng ano, ito yung pera mo. Ito yung pera, bigay ko sa'yo. And then, para magsama ka lang sa amin. Punta tayo sa ibang bansa kasi meron ka magandang trabaho na nag-aantay sa'yo. No? And then, next is how they do it. So, paano nila ginawa yun? So, means non-violent means crude deception, abuse, of possession or vulnerability. So, yung mga madaling mauto. Yun yung minsan nilang kadalas nilang nilalapitan. Yung mga bata, no? Ano yung mga may vulnerabilities, again, yung mga bata. Kasi madali silang mauto. Giving or receive payment or benefits. Then violence means threat, force, other form of coercion or abduction. Then, why they do it? So, bakit nila ginagawa yun? So, ang purpose is sexual exploitation, prostitution, or acts of lasciviousness, pornography, or sex tourism. So, ayan. Nag-hire sila ng mga bata o nagre-recruit sila in order yung mga traffickers para magkaroon sila ng maraming pera. No? Magkaroon sila ng maraming pera kasi minsan dadalhin na sa ibang bansa yung mga tao. Yun ang hire nila. Most especially mga bata, no? So, ayan. Dinadala na dun sa ibang bansa and then in-offer nila sa mga foreigner. Then, labor exploitation. Forced labor, slavery, thief, bondage, no? Yung may utang yung, like example, yung ina mo, yung mothers mo, may utang siya, and then, yun yung kabayaran. Yung bigyan kita ng pera kasi dahil wala kayong pambayad ng hospital, sige, bigyan namin yung pera, bigyan kami ng pera, tapos yung anak mo sa amin na muna para ito, ipatrabaho namin sa aming bahay or something like that. Pero, iba yung kinalabasan. Prostitution. Then organized exploitation, no? So minsan yung mga tao or mga bata kinukuha yung kailang mga organs. And next, yung mga bata talaga yung mga vulnerabilities in this time. So by the way, who is child? So dito sa section 3, child o sa section 3 of the Public Act 9610 9610 ba? Yes. Section 3B, child refers to nandun 08 pala to. So, Section 3B, define dito yung child. So, refers daw to a person below 18 years of age, one who is over 18 but it is unable to fully take care of or protect himself or herself from abuse, neglect, then cruelty, exploitation, or discrimination. because of physical or mental disability. So, again, ah yung bata daw is tatawag sa isang bata if below siya ng 18 years old. So, mababa sa 18 years old, 17. Pag 17 ka pa, you are under to a child. So, ikaw po ay child pa lang. Pag ikaw ay nasa ano pa lang, sa 17 ang pababa. Pero pag 18 pataas ka na, then, yun, hindi ka na matawag na child. But also, makonsider ka din na bata if, or child, if malaki ka na, but hindi mo pa rin maalagaan yung sarili mo. Sino mga example nito? Example to is yung mga may mga kawansanan who is cannot take care or fully take care of themselves or him or herself from abuse, neglect, cruelty, or exploitation. So yun yung ating matatawag na bata. Okay na. So the purpose of trafficking is always exploitation. So yun talaga no, hindi talaga yan maipagkakaid. When we say trafficking is the purpose nito talaga yun is exploitation. So ano siya, yung about sa slavery. Kahit yung mga bata pa, no, nag-work na sila para lang sa magkaroon ng pera. Ayan, yung organ, no. Then, sex trafficking, labor trafficking, organ trafficking, child in armed conflict, no. So, ito yung mga napiling sa mga mga NPA, no, dun sa pinagdadala sa mga gubat para mag-revenge sa again in the government. So, sa sex trafficking, no, prostitution, pornography, sexual exploitation, no. Pinapakita ng mga kung ano din sa social media, no. Bibinta, oh my gosh. Binabayaran ng mga ng pera para lang sa kanilang pangailangan. So, sa labor trafficking naman ay forced labor or slavery, deep bondage, involuntary servitude, 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 and then next is organ trafficking. So, ayun no, kinukuha yung kidney, and so victims are forced into giving up an organ. So, victims are received or cheated into giving up an organ, no? So, minsan pinapatulog ka lang or ini-injectionan ka ng papatulog para paggising mo, wala na yung ibang mong organs. Yung victims are, again, treated of an illness which is maybe or may not exist, then organs are removed without this knowledge. So, kunwari, chinecheck up ka tapos mayroon ka daw sakit sa ganitong organs, but but suddenly, wala pala yun. But the purpose of them is para makuha lang yung organs. So, children in conflict or in armed conflict. So, some of the child is hina-hire para lang maging a part sa pag-revenge ng ating government. So, ayan o. Tinitrain na sila maghawak ng mga kung anong armas. Sinasanay, no, a child associated with an armed force or armed group. No part of any kind of regular or irregular armed force or armed group. So, in any capacity, no? So, consent or agreement of the victim to be trafficked is irrelevant. So, sexual trafficking, prostitution. So, refers to any act or transaction, scheme, or design involving the use of a person by another. So, ayan, pag sinabi natin sexual trafficking, it is referred to act, transaction, no, scheme, or design involving the use of a person by another. So, pinapagamit yung isang kasi babae na to, in pictures, para lang ma-fulfill yung lang iba tapos bibigyan ng pera by use of by another person. Then, for sexual intercourse or lascivious conduct, then it in exchange for money or profit by any other consideration. So, and sexual trafficking pornography also refers to any Representation through publication, exhibition, or cinematography, indecent shows, information, technology, or by whatever means or person engaged in real or simulated explicit sexual activities or any representation of the sexual parts of a person for primarily sexual purposes. So, ayun na. So, ayan, pinapost sa mga magazines. Or actually, may magazine, minsan nakikita ko natin na may mga, ang laman is mga something like that. Oh my gosh, no? Para ibenta doon sa mga tao. Which is that not good. Then, sexual trafficking, sexual exploitation, participation by a person in prostitution, pornography, or the production of pornography. So, in exchange for money, profit, or other consideration. So, para lang magkapera, no? Ibibinta yung kailang mga iba't ibang bahagi ng katawan. So, ayan. Then, next is the labor trafficking. So, or forced labor. So, painful is, extraction of work. No, kahit mahirap na. Ang most na biktima nito is mga bata, no? Kasi hindi nila kaya. Pilit nilang kinakaya yung mga work. So, refers to a physical compulsion to work, no? Buhat ng malaki, then induced work. Refers to a mental compulsion to work. Oh my gosh. Then the privilege of the pledging by the debtor of his or her personal services or labor of those of a person under his or her control as security or payment of debt. So minsan dahil may utang yung ina mo, no, yung mother mo or your parents mo. So mapoforce ka na magtrabaho para lang para mabayaran yung utang ninyo. So refers also to status or condition of a person over whom any or all of the lower attaching to the right of ownership are exercised. Then what is a child trafficking? So, ano ba yung mga child trafficking? So, we see child trafficking, same act plus exploitative purpose. So, means are irrelevant. Higher penalties not billable. So, yun yung pinakasad sa ating ano ngayon, no? Not billable. So, most victims of child trafficking come from poverty-stricken families from different parts of the country and are brought to Manila or other highly urbanized cities or abroad. So, ayun, no? So, minsan, kung makikita natin dito sa mapa, no? Dito yung may maraming mga mahirap from Mindanao, then transfer to Luzon, after to Visayas, so minsan abot pa sa ibang bansa yung mga na-traffic person. And mostly, ang mga victim nito is yung mga bata. Yung mga bata na nasa poor, no? Yung mga mahirap. Sila yung minsan na victim nito kasi nga wala silang pera, then bigyan sila ng pera. Ito yung gawin, basta ito lang ang gawin mo in the next sa ibang lugar. Then at the end pala, hindi pala yung in-expect na gawin. Iba yung kinalabasan. So next is child are high risk. So ayan, what I have said a while ago, ang child talaga ang pinaka-high risk. So always vulnerable kasi madali silang madali silang maniwala sa mga bagay-bagay na binibigay sa kanila. Lack of knowledge, understanding, and information. So dahil kulang sila sa mga knowledge, so dapat talaga meron tayong proper dissemination or information about the human trafficking. Bigyan sila ng information about that na hindi tayo basta-basta maniwala sa mga nag-recruit sa atin. Kasi there is a possible na pwede tayong victim as in terms of human trafficking or child trafficking. No? So again, lack of knowledge, understanding, and information. So dapat talaga natin, most especially sa mga parents, so dapat din sila maging mapagmatiyag. Dapat always sila maging bantay sa kanilang mga bata para maiwasan yung child trafficking. Dapat tayo isang paalalahanan ng mga bata na ito huwag basta-basta maniwala sa kung sino-sino ang sa'yo, nag-hire or etc. No? And then why is there human trafficking? So again, bakit ba talaga mayroong trafficking? So ayan, first talaga na pinakauna-una talaga yan is poverty. Dahil may kahirapan. So dahil may kahirapan, so there is a lot of people na nagsamantala sa mga taong mahirap. So ayan o, poverty dahil sa kahirapan. Ay, dahil mahirap ako, gusto ko magkakaroon ng pera. Gusto ko magkaroon ng pera para maiahon ng pamilya. So, ayun. Dahil may nag-ano sa'yo, may nag-hire, then punta agad dun. Without thinking that that is not good. Na victim ka pala ng isang human trafficking. The next is no work or employment. So, dahil walang work, siyempre, pag wala tayong work, we are find a way para makahanap ng isang trabaho. But suddenly, mapapunta tayo sa human trafficking. Mabibiktima pala tayo sa human trafficking, no? Makapunta tayo sa ibang bansa, and then at the end, hindi pala yung work na inasahan natin, napuntahan natin doon is iba yung kinalabasan. Then widespread of consumerism and materialism. So dahil minsan sa atin mayroon ambisyoso. So ayan, we need to find work na kung saan may mataas na sahod. So ayan, pumasok yung mga traffickers. Nag-offer sila. Ito yung ito yung sahod mo doon sa ibang bansa. Ito yung sahod mo dito doon sa ibang lugar. Magkaroon ka ng 100,000 per day. Oh my gosh, no? But yes, minsan naging totoo naman 100,000 niya or else more than that. But iba yung work na kinalabasan based doon sa ina-explain nila sa'yo sa actual or sa doon sa pag-hire nila sa'yo. The next is discrimination. So dahil some of us na discriminate na ito ay parang na mahirap, so gusto mong umangat ngayon. Gusto mong maging, dahil mahirap ka, gusto mong yumaman. So discriminate ka na, ang hirap ng ganito, ganyan kayo. So you are finding ways ngayon to para umangat sa buhay. So ayun, humarap ka ng trabaho again. So para hindi ka may discriminate dahil sa kahirapan mo, ganyan. So again, you are finding another thing para ma-increase yung iyong confidence or your solution is para maging mayaman. So, hirap ka ng trabaho. So, yun. Dahil dun, may nag-hire sa'yo. Ay hindi may nasahan na that is pala yun. Traffickers. Or hindi magandang kinalawasan. So, ayun. No. Next is lack of education. So, ayan no. So, based dun sa ating paliwanag din sa child trafficking, lack of information. Mostly sa atin. No? Kaya yung mga bata talaga yung most vulnerable. Kasi hindi pa sila full of knowledge or education na meron nag-exist sa atin ngayon na trafficking. Kaya mostly or kadalasan talaga na biktima sa atin is yung mga bata. Kasi sila ay lack of education, lack of information na ito dapat hindi ka basta maniwala kasi ganito. So, lack of education yung kadalasan na maging dahilan bakit nagkaroon tayo ng trafficking. The next is adventurism or peer pressure or bandwagon effect. So, so adventurous. So, dahil gusto mo talagang maranasan na pumunta sa ibang bansa or gusto mong maranasan na ito ganyan, bagong work naman, you are adventurous. No? Adventure. You need to discover new things. And then, sad to say na yung nag-invite din sa'yo or mga traffickers, magaling paliwanag ng mga ganyan mga bagay. So, nadala ka ngayon. Then, escapism. Or, ganyan gusto mo lang mag-escape sa mga bagay na nahirapan ka na ngayon. Mostly in this time of pandemic, so nahirapan ka lang magpuno sa iyong bahay. So, ayun, gusto mo lang magkaroon ng ulit na bagong kakilala. So, again, pumunta ka sa ibang lugar. Which is, na-traffic ka na pala or is na victim ka sa isang trafficking. So, effect of human trafficking. So, siyempre is physical. So, high risk of contracting STI or HIV, AIDS, for nutritious, physical and sexual abuse, high instance of drugs abuse and death. So ayan, no? So pag siyempre pag na ano ka na human trafficking, so siyempre we have a different kind, no? Sa high risk of contracting STI. So since some of the traffic person is ginagamit sila for sexual activities. So nahirap that is prone talaga sila sa mga sakit-sakit, no? Physical, in terms of physical, no? Mga sakit, poor nutrition, siyempre hindi tama yung ano, proper hygiene kasi minsan nahirapan ka na mag-adjust, and then ayun, marami ng mga iwan na hindi na mapaliwanag sa buhay natin that time. Then psychological, no? One of the effect also is the psychological. Low self-esteem, compromise moral and values, and high instances of altered perception, instance, insanity, no? So ayan, uh, pababa na din sa sarili mo dahil ikaw ay ganito ganyan. Parang ikaw na yung pinakamadumi sa buong baratang lupa, no? And number three is social stigma or sexism and self-isolation. Siyempre dahil uh, you are one of the victim, so parang nahiya ka nang lumabas sa bahay, no? Nahiya ka nang lumabas, nahiya ka nang makita ng mga tao. So ayan, you are self-isolation. So punishable act under the anti-trafficking law is number one, act of trafficking in person. Then act that promote trafficking in person. Ayan, may punishment din yan. Attempted trafficking in person, then accomplice and accessories use of traffic person. So ayan, no confidentiality. So any details, circumstances regarding the victim and family are absolutely confidential. So dapat tingyan pinagsasabi or chinisismis sa iba yung mga information about dun sa isang victim. Then common profiles or modus operandi of traffickers. So ayan, no, so known in the community or is related to someone in the community. The number two is appear to be rich or wealthy. So ina-appears na or explain sa inyo na maging mayaman kayo. At pag pumasok kayo dyan na ano, ganyan, na sa kanilang pag-recruit, then ready and willing to give money advances. So, ayan, inuunahan, binibigyan ng kanilang pera na ito, ganyan. Malaking pension, malaking pera yan, ibigay sa inyo. Para lang pumayag kayo na maging part sa kanilang pag-recruit. The enticing promises, no? Binibigyan ka ng mga promises na ito yung work nyo sa ibang bansa. Yun kayo magandang trabaho doon, and etc. It's a just falsification of documents, no? uh, Papakitaan kayo ng nag-hire sa inyo na ito mga o mga hindi naman totoo mga dokumento na ito mayroon kaming register kami sa ito ganyan na register kami sa ito na company or sa DTI ganyan ganito, kung lahat-lahat na or is lahat-lahat na mga documents na ipapakita sa iyo para sila ay paniwalaan nyo, which is that is hindi naman totoo. Then is promise of easy employment. So pag ano kayo pag mag-promise sila sa iyo ng mga easy employment, madali kayo makapasok sa work, then large salaries not equal to qualifications. So ayan, sabihin kayo na mataas yung salaries or not equal to qualifications. Then unclear working conditions and destinations. Then not shy or enticing parents to allow minors to work. Then who may file a case for human trafficking? So ayan. So the traffic person. So sino ba ang pwedeng mag-file ng case? So una-una is yung traffic person. Then traffic person or yung traffic person. So na traffic na person. And then parents, spouse, siblings, children, legal guardian. So any who has personal knowledge of the crime. Then will be a case for human trafficking be filed. So sama pwedeng i-file. yung ah, case about sa human trafficking. So human trafficking is a continuing offense. So the offense was committed, then any of its elements occurred. So kung alin man doon, hinired ba kayo na traffic or something like that, you are make as an prostitution, then the traffic person reside at the time of the commission of the crime. Then how to fight human trafficking? So para malabanan ito ang human trafficking. So una is beware unraised community. Then aware about human trafficking. And number two, be alert to possible trafficking incident and report any suspicious activities to the proper authorities. So dapat mapagmatinag tayo. I-report natin sa mga authorities kung meron tayong kaibang na o mga suspicious activities to our community. Then do not engage in any trafficking activities. So wag basta-basta maniwala sa mga trafficking activities. Then do not engage trafficking victims. So how to report human trafficking? So ay mga hotline dyan. So pwede ko tumawag sa hotline, sa police station, 911, no? Or sa 1343 action line against human trafficking. So ano yung mga information natin dyan na pwede nating tawagan, impossible na meron tayong mga naranasan o nakikitang kakaibang nangyayari sa ating community. So that's my presentation today, and I hope na naging aware kayo about the human trafficking.